Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Matthew Schreiner podcast. This is a little just impromptu episode, just not scripted, not edited, just a video that's coming out today. It's Thursday in the afternoon, and I said that there was not going to be a video today. I posted that last night. I had a video all planned out. I had a script and everything ready, and honestly, now I do believe I do have the time to make a video, but I just want to share a little bit of news, but also a little bit of personal thought. Yesterday, there was an assassination of a popular conservative speaker, Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated at a school campus. Supposedly, the gun that was used was marked, either the bullets or the gun itself was marked with transgender and quote anti-fascist um, markings. That is what I have heard. This seems to almost mirror a recent attack that happened at a Catholic school in which a person who called themselves transgender and who also had marked on their weapon of choice transgender writings and anti Catholic writings about protecting or killing children. And these attacks that have happened within a week or two of each other, they are both unfortunate. And while they are not the same, obviously, one attack was against a Catholic school, was against a group of children and their teachers, and possibly even their parents, and presumably some of the teachers as well were parents, as it is so common in our Catholic schools now. And an attack against, presumably as well, a cleric. And it was an attack against the church, no doubt, too. Charlie Kirk's death is what most likely was a liberal shooter. That is what many people will say on the internet. I don't believe that a person has yet been found in the case yet. So they had a couple people, I believe, who were in custody, but they were released. But nonetheless, both cases, and the case most recently, is unfortunate. Because the attack that happened at this Catholic school, this school shooting, was unfortunate, and it was clearly an attack on the Catholic institution. But today was an attack, or yesterday, pardon me, was an attack against one person and one person in particular, but most especially against the cause that he held to. And there are other videos that speak of this. Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, and Trent Horn have both been on and about on this. Michael Knowles and Ben Shapiro were on yesterday, talking about it. Like, I heard about it at the end of the school day. Someone was like, Charlie Kirk got shot, and then later on, I was away from the internet for about 2 hours, just doing other things, and eventually I was back on, and I saw it like in passing that this happened, and it's just unfortunate because this was a conservative speaker who holds very closely to a lot of opinions on which we are in agreement. Trent Horn has talked before about Charlie Kirk, his views on abortion, as well as views on the Catholic Church. That's a very good video Trent did, and Trent in his video today said, it's a sad thing, and also that Charlie talked to Trent and said, your videos are great, and the video you did with me and Catholicism was wonderful. I'm glad, you're so passionate about what you believe. But I saw recently too, his wife is a devout Catholic. I believe their children are being raised to be Catholic, and as well, Charlie went to mass, and he was in praise of the Blessed Mother, saying that Protestants don't venerate her enough, and that Mary is the solution to supposed radical feminism. And so I pray for Charlie because his life was taken quickly. His life was taken prematurely. He was killed because of his beliefs. I believe this. Just as the children at the Annunciation School were targeted for the beliefs that are held by their church, Charlie was killed for the beliefs that he held. And this is an unfortunate show, I believe, of what is becoming of the political sphere in America, where especially the liberal cause now is just so opposed to what people like Charlie Kirk or the Catholic Church holds to. And whether or not you believe this is an attack of the devil, which I won't deny that the school shooting that happened couldn't have been an attack on the devil, couldn't have been a demonic possession. And I've seen people today talking about, you can't deny that there isn't spiritual warfare going on right now within our very world. And I think that if you don't see the school shooting as an example of that, it's unfortunate, because I just, at least to say that there is this issue with mental illness in the present world, but also, I'm not going to say that this is a thing that, okay, all liberals are bad. No. Or that transgender ideology is necessarily bad or necessarily violent. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is that these recent cases are an unfortunate thing of the political sphere in America, that we believe that the solution to our problems, and people are looking at these shootings, both of these shootings, and saying, oh, this is great, this is wonderful. People on the left are saying, this is great, this is how we need to protect the children. This is how we need to be. And this is the same after Charlie Kirk's death. The problem we're facing right now is that people see violence as the answer. And the problem is, right now it's the liberals who see it as the answer. And it's, conservatives are usually the ones who are, guns and Second Amendment and all. And yet, who is being targeted by the thing that they stand up for? It's the Republicans now, or the conservatives, who are being attacked. And that's just a thing I notice. I could be wrong. I'm just pointing out my own observation. But we have this unfortunate situation in which our political sphere believes that if you disagree with someone, the proper response is just to silence them, to shut down the platform they are on, even if that involves killing the messenger, killing the person who is presenting this. And our response to such as this should be to condemn what happened, should be to say, this is a terrible thing, unjust killing is wrong. That's what we need to say. We can't go and say, this is great, if, we disagree with him, let's kill him. That should not be our response. Whether you are a liberal or a conservative or a moderate or a Christian or an atheist or a Jew or a Muslim, whatever you are, your response shouldn't be, okay, well, they disagree with me, the best response is to silence them. That's not the response. So how we need to counter Charlie Kirk's death is not with a violence of our own, but is rather with prayer, with peace, with respect on both sides. And that's what we're getting. We're getting prayer. I'm surprised by the simple outpouring of prayer, of support for Charlie and for his now widowed wife and daughter, and I don't know if they had other children, but for Charlie's family, because what they're going to go through for the next rest of their life, it's unfortunate for them. And so we need to support Charlie, his immortal soul, with our prayers, but also for his family here on earth, because that's ultimately what we are called to do as Christians, and more than that, what we're called to do as people of goodwill. The sheer outpouring of support from people I honestly didn't expect to make videos or posts, just surprising. More than that, I'm surprised by the simple outreach he had. I'm from Illinois, where Charlie is also from, and so on a personal level, I feel that I should present that empathy almost to him, that respect and that prayer, because I just feel that almost connection to him, if you will. I don't, but more than that, where was I going with that? Just the prayer empathy, the outpouring of prayers. Bishop Barron posted about him, and a whole bunch of people. I'm just surprised by the sheer outpouring. Even just there was a post from Father James Martin. I was surprised to see that. And what Father James Martin said was, we need prayer. Killing is senseless. Why are we doing this? What were you thinking? And that's the same from a whole lot of people. Just prayer. That's what we need. And some may say that prayer is useless and unimportant. I would say I've made a video about that. I've made probably a couple videos about it, and I will continue to make videos about it because prayer is just so important for a Christian perspective, but for our entire world. And so here I offer my prayers and my support for the family and for all of us, and especially for Charlie and his immortal soul. The God may grant him eternal rest among many souls, and that I ultimately hope, because Charlie's life was taken way too soon. He was taken quickly from this world, and the sheer outreach he had too. Just simply how many people just were out there talking about him. I was surprised by the people who I heard from too about this, just seeing on social media. The simple outreach and popularity he had. He was featured on South Park. He was featured on TV just in the way that he was known, in these conversations with college students that ultimately was his final end. I mean, he went down doing what he loved, and while it's unfortunate the means to which that happened, that he was assassinated in public square, it's unfortunate. I mean, I have not seen the video. However, I heard people describing it, and it's just unfortunate. And while there's so much we can talk about with everything, and while I'd love to talk for more about this, and there's more videos I mean to make, and I won't be talking much more to this extent about this, so I wanted to just make my prayer, make my support. There's a lot of other topics in my head, and there was a video I had planned for today. Unfortunately, that just didn't come, so it was actually going to be about the gospel from this weekend, so hopefully next week I can just kind of mix that in on Tuesday and say, well, last Sunday's gospel and whatever. But I just wanted to share this here. And so that's it for today, and I will see you next time. God bless.